Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, has described as fake news the viral story regarding purported 114% increase in the salaries of the President, the Vice President, elected federal and state political office holders, and judicial officers. In a press statement, Alake clarified that President Bola Tinubu has not approved any salary raise and no such proposal has been presented for consideration, emphasizing the danger of fake news. He urges journalists, media managers and the public to disregard stories on government activities and policy issues that do not come from approved official communication channels. Well, I have my guest analyst with me. Still have the current affairs analyst, Professor of Communications and Deputy Dean of the Postgraduate School at Bayes University in Abuja, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. And joining me is Kolawole Johnson. He is the head Directorate of Research, Planning and Strategy at the Act for Positive Transformation Initiatives. Good to see you, gentlemen, and thanks for your time. Let's start with you, Kolawole Johnson. You had that story and it trended bigly, this again has brought to the fore the issue of fake news. But again, first, let's give us your perspective on how it's been with that particular piece of news, because some other official from that same arm did speak about it.
All right. You note that the media has been taken away from the traditional setting. And a lot of times you don't know what to believe because there are sources you can really verify things from. But when you have such a news item in the public space, the first 24 hours, and nobody's denouncing them, you will only give credence to them by leaving them in the space. And I think it was until the Labour Party candidate spoke that the government deemed fit to respond. I think so. Of course, we've been talking, people raised concern. You even found some supporters of the government kind of defending it that, it wasn't the choice of the president, but that of the body charged with that. But fact is, this government may need to also, sit up to act fast. Such must not go far because the mood of the nation, can't take that. You have fuel subsidy removal and some other decisions that are biting, hard on the people. And that such things like this, the people are going to respond, negatively. So I was expecting them to have denounced that before this day. I think it's been since 2 days ago. At first, the agency came out to say some few things, but we're expecting the government to denounce that in strong terms because of the mood of the nation. Of course, that is the hallmark of mood communication. When you understand that, you know what to allow to to trend in the space before you come in. That next time should not trend.
Well, Professor Adeniyi, if this had happened before the composition or the appointment of essays on media to the president, one would have thought that there was a lacuna. But as it is now, the moment Mr. Alake has spoken.
Yeah, but government, it's very wide. Government is composed of not just the central government, but there are so many agencies, and none of them have their organizational line or chain, if you want. So sometimes you can see this kind of for power is not something that is never going to happen or that can never happen. What happens is what would you do? How would you respond to it? I thought they responded very well, but it came a little late, because ordinarily, looking at the story, you will know that it wasn't a sensible one against the background of the feeling, the groundswell of opinion in the country, or even the reality in the country, in the wake of the removal of oil subsidy. People were feeling pain, and of course, you are coming to say you are increasing the salaries of political office holders. I'm not sure any government would ordinarily have wanted that to happen. So it was an error, it's been corrected. But the point we also need to make is that this government is at a stage now, at the level of communication, they are the information dissemination stage. Simple dissemination of information. With this appointment has been made, that appointment has been made. This person has been dropped, this person has been replaced with the person that has been dropped. Simple communication. Very shortly, we expect them to move to the actual communication stage, where they will begin to engage the populace, provide reasons, provide interpretations, and of course we too will now be joining them on some issues. And of course, after that, we also expect them to move to the conversation stage, But of course, if they are not fast in moving from one stage to the other, you'll be seeing this kind of a thing where they'll be caught, napping, as the case could be, because I do not believe that in a system like this, convoluted communication space, that a Dele Alake, as good as he is, as experienced as he is, as versatile as he is, I don't think he alone, can do the trick, because of course you could see that it took him time to respond, which means that by my own deduction, he will have been making contact with the agency just to get some further clarification so that he will not run into further errors. It was those clarifications that probably led him to responding a little late. So what we're saying in essence is that there are so many pieces in the communication jigsaw that should be filled, moving from the information stage to the communication stage and to the conversation stage. It should be filled as